Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another video. Now, before I go into Vato, this is going to be the first video because I'm still downloading a couple of things just to get everything ready. I want to talk about the balance changes and everything that it's going to happen, especially with the competitive queue, which is just actually something we've been asking for so long. It's amazing. There's also balance changes that were not mentioned on the showcase, so I'm going to mention it now. And if you're watching this in the future, this is for the showcase of the Beach Bash, where we're also getting the new champion Vato, okay? So for the ones who are watching it literally right now, I just showcased, I just live reacted to the showcase. And as soon as PDS opens, I'm going to be streaming on my own Twitch channel. Make sure to follow me there, Kreepers YT, easy to find, link in the description for the link tree, and inside you'll find all my other social media. So follow me on Twitter and Twitch just in case you don't get the notification. But now let's talk about the rank changes, because some of you guys probably don't understand what the hell is going on, right? So a lot of people have been complaining that in competitive, sometimes with the queues, you would get stuff like you're master and you have like golds on your team. Imagine everybody's gold and you're the only master, and you wouldn't understand why the hell is this happening. For anyone who knew this, there was a thing that would, after 240 seconds, it would stop taking attention to your ranks and some other stuff that it was used for the matchmaking, and it would open a little bit more, right? So it would not be as strict, so it would be easier to find people. But the thing is, they would not have similar ranks. So gold champions on a master lobby or GM lobby, yeah, pretty easy to happen. But this was like at 240 seconds. So what happened is they increased the time for that, and this is what you see right here. The normal wait time, the original time, instead of being just 240 seconds, it's now 480 seconds. So they doubled the time now, so that we have between the initial 480 seconds, a bigger chance of having a more balanced match in competitive. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Now, what's going to happen as well? And so after this 480 seconds, you still have the overtime. In this case, we had the 240 seconds, so I'm going to go as that normal thing, right? After the 240 seconds, there would be a time of like 90 seconds where it would still try to get people of maybe like your skill gap, but ignore the ranks. So imagine Smurfs, you know, those guys who just started playing now and maybe they're still plat, but they have a very good elo. They would be pushed into these games, right? So if they won a lot, but they were still in low elo, they would have, in low ranks, they would have a big elo and would be pulled into this. What's going to happen is now we have 480 seconds at the normal time, and the overtime only starts after. This overtime was only 90 seconds, now it's 300 seconds. And what this would do is that after the 90 seconds, it would just stop taking attention to anything. And basically, you wouldn't have anything possible on your ranked match. It was weird, okay? It was not okay, and finally they fixed it. They decided to change it. We still got to see how it's going to work, okay? But yeah, let's see how that's going to work. Now, they also changed something for the ranked map rotation, so on. They basically were saying that previously we had like 10 active maps at rotation, and only 4 would be in reserved, right? This would be like in case they would have to imagine there's a map with a bug or something, they would have to throw it down. There would be 4 reserved maps, one of them would just slide in, but they would never go by default as one of the maps. The default maps would be the 10 maps, the other 4 would be just reserved just in case. What they decided to do was increase the active maps to 12, so we have 2 more, and there's only going to be 2 maps outside of the competitive queue. So now on this next patch, we're gonna have Splitstone, Stone Keep, Jaguar Falls, Warder's Gate, Frozen Guard, Ascension's Peak, Timber Mill, Serpent Beach, and now these 4 will be joining in: Bright's March, Bazaar, Fish Market, and Shattered Desert. And Ice Mines and Frog Isle will be staying as reserved maps. So we're not gonna get these 2 maps here ever, unless it's necessary. And on the next split, we'll have them basically changed. Now, here's the thing. They didn't mention a new split, so I'm guessing we're still in the same split. So until, like, the next champion after Vato comes in, or a new patch after Vato comes in, we're still gonna have the exact same split. So whatever rank you are, it still remains, okay? It's not gonna be any reset. Now let's go into the balance changes. I wanted to talk about the competitive part because I feel like this is also balanced either way, so there you go. On balance changes, there was a couple things that they didn't mention. For example, one of them was Androxus. His card that increases the ammo by base, you would have 6 bullets, but you can increase it all the way to, I think, like 11, I think? 11, yes, because you could put 5 points on this, so 11. What they decided to do was take this away, so now you have to reload a little bit more, and instead you can just heal by hitting shots. I feel like this is not going to be that powerful. I think this is the same thing that Tiberius has on hitting shots with his weapon, and nobody even cares about that weapon, honestly. I think that the card, I think most of the people who are, like, for example, using Androxus will they'll be faster aiming towards that card that heals you while you're hovering down on the air, because it's just a more consistent and less requirements thing for heals, honestly, right? This one here, you're hitting people, but you're probably being cauterized, so it's good because it's a sort of a nerf to Androxus finally, especially for Cursed Revolver, because Cursed Revolver would increase the damage you can do with your shots. Now you have to reload every 6 shots. This is amazing, okay? Fury Exterminate also got nerfed, something that they did not mention. The only nerf was to the damage. Instead of duplicating the damage entirely, now it's only 75% extra. So imagine if it does like 1000 damage, now when you use Exterminate, it will do like 1750 instead of the 2000 because it was completely duplicated, okay? So get Resilience, stay away from the beam, you'll get a little bit less damage over time. I still feel like this is not the deserved nerf for Fury Exterminate, because I feel like this entire damage amp is just... it's too much, I think, because Resilience needs to be buffed in my opinion, but hey, we'll see if it ever happens in the future or not. Now for Grohk, anyone who comes in here and tries to read this, they're gonna be like, what? What is this? I don't get it. So before, what would happen is, there is one cooldown always cycling. And if you had like 2 totems or 3 totems, remember, you still have the 3 totems talent. But in this case, we'll talk about the 2 totems. What would happen is you would throw down a totem, and it would start to cool down to run. But if you throw down the second totem, what would happen is, the first cooldown that was already in the run would reach and give you 1 charge. Right? And now it starts over from 0 to get the second totem. So this means that it would be really bad to have multiple totems out. You could pretty much like have 2 totems out only if you didn't use anything before. But as soon as you use the first one, you could only get 1 out every once in a while. This means that this is going to be good for both healing Grohk and damage Grohk, because you're going to be able to self-heal a little bit more. The full time to get a second totem by just immediately using the both healing totems, it's going to take 12 seconds. Because why? Because as soon as you use the second charge, it's not going to wait for the first charge of the cooldown, the first cooldown to be over. It's going to count down a new cooldown. So it's like you would have separated totem cooldowns, and every time you use one of them, a cooldown starts for that one. But if you use the second one, it's not going to wait for the first one to be over. It's going to start a new cooldown just for that one, which means we're going to be able to have a lot more totems a lot faster. And this is obvious without even talking about Chronos. This is going to be a lot better. We're going to also have a lot more healing Grohks with the 3 totems. Full Chronos, this is going to be amazing. I loved it. And I'm not even sure how good it will be if you have an Octavia reduced cooldowns passive. So we'll see about that. Now on to Grover. Grover did not just get buffed on his ultimate, he also got nerfed on his Deep Roots talent, the one that makes you stand in place by just hitting the right click. Instead of hitting 5 people, bouncing around for 5 people, because now it bounces, it only bounces for 3, which is good. This means that you're not going to be fully mobilizing a full team of 5 people, which was it was just pretty stupid in my opinion. And even then, I still feel like something else needed to be changed here. I don't really like that the Grover should have benefits for actually playing damage in sort of style, or damage or CC in this case. You understand what I'm saying? But his ultimate got buffed. First of all, when you use your ultimate right now, it doesn't expend the entire 100%. What it does, it expends 20%. So if you die as soon as you activate it, you're not going to lose the ultimate. You're just going to keep 80%. And the 4 seconds of the duration of the ultimate, what's going to happen is it's going to consume the charge of this. So what's happening here, he's having the same thing that Vora has on her ultimate. So she consumes like 30% at the immediate time, right? And then over time, the entire you know, the entire little bar of the duration, the more you consume it, the more energy, the more percentage of your ultimate will consume. So if you want to cancel it, you can actually keep ult charge, which is good, because if you cancel it right at 2 seconds, you're gonna keep 40%. Imagine you activated it by accident, you didn't just use your entire ultimate out of for nothing, which is good. You're gonna be able to keep ult charge. This was pretty good because a lot of champions are having this, including Androxus and so on. So it was time for some of the supports also to have this, okay? Now on to the other characters that also got balanced. We got Kanessa. Her only change was her card that heals you when you hit a fully charged shot. It's been nerfed by half, pretty much. Nothing too crazy about that. Lex's lifesteal card on the retribution targets, it's been cut by half as well, meaning you can only go to 25% lifesteal now, so it's not that great for console anymore, which is amazing. That's pretty good. It was something that he needed. As for Octavia, she had a couple buffs and nerfs. First of all, she got buffed on her non-scoped fire damage, etc. Right? Her damage on the hip fire on the non-scope has been buffed, so she does more damage. Her accuracy a lot better, so it means you're going to be able to hit out a lot more of those shots. But they also increase the damage fall off, which means the damage she loses when it starts hitting that little threshold, you know, at a certain distance where you start losing damage, it's going to be a lot more aggressive, so you're not going to be able to do a lot more damage in medium range with this. This is literally going to be close range, and that's it, okay? As for the designated sites, when you're using the scope, they reduced her damage because apparently this was too strong, 500 to 425. Seems like pretty fair to me. And they also reduced the bullet spread and recoil, which means it's going to be easier to hit the shots. So you do less damage, but you hit the shots easier. And it doesn't bounce as much on the screen as it used to, so that's also really good. And they also reduce the damage fall off at extended ranges. So it means that she's going to be able to perform at medium to long range a lot better now, okay? This is something that I felt when I was playing Octavia, especially when I was getting her to level 50. It didn't felt quite well because she was only good at medium to close range with the scope. It was not that good. I did not enjoy it at all. Now with this, it may actually be good. Since she's also getting a skin, I'm going to be probably playing her a little bit and see how good it is. Alright, but now let's go into Tiberius and Zhin. Tiberius had his sword being nerfed. The slow that it does, it's only 30% now, not 50%. 50% was too aggressive. Every time there was a Tiberius, I would have to get resilience. The slow would get me killed pretty much every time, independently of whatever champion I was playing. And the slow duration has also been nerfed to 2 seconds instead of 3. So you're going to be slowed for a lot less time. It's good because I think you could refresh this state if you're not using the explosive sword. If you would throw it in a straight line and then pull it back and it would hit the same person 2 times, I think this would stack, and that was not that good. Alright, and now into Zhin. Zhin had his guillotine talent nerfed. I feel like Zhin still needed a couple of tweaks here and there, just because like his Yomi talent is pretty shit, at least in my opinion. But his guillotine has been nerfed, which is good for tanks, and I still feel like Street Justice should be nerfed as well. But hey, let's focus on Zhin now. His damage has been reduced by every slash. It's now 20% instead of 25%, which means it doesn't mean 100% kill. Like the damage on a 1v1, it would not mean 100% sure you're gonna kill somebody every single time anymore. You're gonna have to get them low enough to then you ult, okay? Here's the thing, this ultimate does not apply cauterize, so you still have a chance to survive. As for the ultimate charge that was on the talent, the guillotine, it has been removed, which is pretty good because he was having ults left and right and was just too much. Alright, as for bug fixes, there's a huge list here. What I can tell you, however, is, for example, fixed an issue for Grohk where the shock pulses would bounce to other enemies off of an ethereal target. It's ethereal target. I still don't know what this is. I'm probably going to be looking it up. If you guys know, just let me know down in the comments below. I didn't pay too much attention to this. They didn't even mention this on the hunt, so I'm still a little bit confused as to this, whatever this is. But I'll see. Everybody is talking about here eternal targets. You know what? I'm going to stop here for a second, and let me just search real quick. What the hell does this mean? Okay, according to what I just saw, ethereal targets are basically targets who are being affected by CC. I don't understand why is it saying that it would bounce off. I mean, if it hit him, then it bounces off. That's fine. It says that it would bounce to other enemies off an ethereal target. I mean, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I would love to have an explanation for this one, but okay. Grohk fixed an issue where crippling throw with deep roots talent would bounce to other enemies off of an eternal target. I think what's happening here is probably, like, for example, if you rooted somebody, it would not bounce to the same person again. But if this is what I think it is, that's going to be even worse, because it bounces 3 times, but this means that if 2 targets are right there, it's going to bounce on one, it's going to hit the first one, then bounce to the second person, and go back to the first person, which is not that great, not at least in my opinion. Imani, they said this one on the stream, where every time you would die when you were using the ultimate, you would have, like, on the kill feed, a little crystal instead of the Imani crystal, so they fixed that. That's pretty good. And the same thing, apparently. Anything that was bouncing, both the Grover roots, Grohk, Shock Pulse, and even apparently even the guys from Frost Bolts and Money, apparently all were having the exact same problem of the Ethereal targets, okay? I'm still trying to understand. If I find out what the real reason behind this, or what does this mean, I'm gonna be letting you guys know on the first comment on this video. I'll put a pinned comment and I'll explain it, okay? As for Lex, fixed an issue where Lex could not re-roll a target he killed in a 1v1. So, if you'd never tried it, on these previous 2 patches or so, when you were playing Lex and everybody was dead, it would not get you another target. And in order to have another target, you would have to die. Okay, so now it's good. If you were doing 1v1s with Lex on just a 1v1 custom match, as soon as the person that you were fighting would die, you wouldn't have it as a target again. So you were always being limited by a bug. Now it's fixed. Fix an issue where the law would not hit enemies in front of Lex if he was slightly obscured by cover. So, this is another that I noticed. In certain little places, if you just had a little bit of a little corner on your screen, for some reason, sometimes it wouldn't do anything with the ultimate, and I would always be like, what happened? It's because they would, apparently the ultimate, imagine as a projectile, would hit a part on that wall, or that cover, or whatever the screen was telling the game, and it wouldn't hit certain people. Sometimes it wouldn't even hit anything. I saw shields not even being hit by this, and this destroys shields, so there you go. As for Moji, fixed an issue where the Greater Good card would not activate on use on her Familiar Spit when the enemy had the maximum number of magic marks if it killed the enemy. If you don't know what the Greater Good is, it's a card that it's fairly used by a lot of people. But unfortunately, it wasn't working that well. And let me just give me a second here so I can get the card here for you guys to see what I'm talking about. So here it is. This is the card that would basically give you lifesteal if this person would have the max number of magic marks. So you could go all the way to 40% with this. And now what they did was basically fixed it because they would not activate on use of a Familiar Spit with an enemy at a maximum if it killed the enemy. So you're still gonna lifesteal even if that person dies straight away, which is really limiting. As somebody who plays Moji every once in a while, I never even noticed this was a thing, but this means that, you know, Moji will be a lot more broken if this actually is working now. Okay, so there you go. And there's a couple of more here. You got Octavia, fix an issue where the reticle and all, they was not centered. I noticed this because I have a dot on my screen. There's the functionality of my screen, and I would always notice that it was not exactly on the place. They were also having issues with golden marksman rifle. Again, I got the skin straight away, and I noticed it would not do the EV effect when you would kill somebody with the golden weapon for some reason. And they also fixed a little typo in the air supremacy card, which I can also find here for you. And here it is. This is the one that gives you damage reduction for 2.5 seconds after activating Commander's Leap. I was using this card a lot, and if I didn't have any clue that this card wasn't working properly, okay? Because I ended up using this card a lot, and I did not know that this card was not helping me. It was just a waste of points, okay? Oh wait, no, it's just a typo apparently. Typo where? Okay, I thought the card wasn't working. My bad. It was just the text. Cool. All right, no problem. All right, for Yagurath, I think the V effect on the killing people is also bugged. But they haven't fixed it. Okay, fix an issue where the Khan throwing an overpowered enemy at a plantiform Yago would incorrectly knock back Yagurath. I never tested this out, actually. It's a good thing that I could have put it in my video of all the things we tested against Yagurath. I did not know about that, by the way. Fix an issue where cooldown reduction would not reduce the cooldown of Trail Acid. Okay. Apparently that was a thing. I didn't even know about that. Trail of Acid is the little thing, the little pools you can drop when you're in wheel mode. Okay? So, the entire cooldown stuff like Chronos, etc. was apparently now working on it. We've also fixed an issue where Corvus and Talos could teleport out of Devour with their respective teleporting abilities in certain secret systems. But listen, they would still die. okay? That's the thing. I tested this out with Talus. It would still kill it. Like, you weren't being eaten on the animation, but you still died. There were some reports of people who actually survived for some reason, and I guess, I mean, I don't know really how, but if this is reality, unfortunately, it's only Talus and Corvus. I'm guessing that Ying could do it as well, maybe. But I don't know. Oh, no, it's because the timer runs out. Okay, that's why. Okay. So, yeah, it was probably only for them. But I did not know about that. Okay. They also had a little... This is here, actually, because Vatu came in. When Vatu came in, basically the last champion, which was Zhin, was pushed off the screen. Cam actually was explaining this on the stream today. And she didn't want to fix that bug because, you know, screw Zhin, and I'm hit with her. But no, we're joking around. Of course, she fixed it, or at least, I don't know who fixed it, but she noticed the bug, and at least Zhin is not going to be as much as penalized as much. Fixed an issue where players could not load into the match lobby when queuing for test maps and the custom screen. Okay, this is the entire thing where you just couldn't create test maps on customs. Now they fixed it. Okay, we're gonna have test maps finally on customs. So there you go. They also fixed an issue on the contact region, the countdowns on the trials, but this is for console. Okay, PC was okay. There was still an issue on the first time, and I know that some people today tried to play, and it was locked. It wasn't allowing for people to unlock, but it's already fixed. You can play already. And they also fixed an issue when selecting the event pass level rewards and trials linked to incorrect pages with bad UI. This is something I found, actually. I was trying to press something. I don't know if it was like a page or whatever. It would bring me into this new champion that doesn't exist named Fernando, and it would have no UI, no body, no nothing. It would be really weird. It's not actually an upcoming champion, don't get it wrong. You know, sometimes that of mind leads to that, but no, that was just a bad little thing. It would just create some sort of a disposed UI or something, okay? But yeah, there you go. This is pretty much the bug fixes and all the balance changes. As for ranked and etc. and all the champions, I'm going to be coming up with all the other content besides the new champion, and I'm going to do also a video only for Vatu, showing off his abilities, talking about his cards, his talents, and everything else. All right, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time into the next one. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the notifications of the next few videos. I'll see you guys in a bit.